Hello and welcome back to the Major League Gaming Season 3 Finals live from the MLG TV Arena in Columbus, Ohio. I'm joined by Maven in the casting booth, and what a game we have for you guys next. OpTic Gaming versus OpTic Nation.
And I've had the pleasure, this is the second time I've got to do this in the last couple months.
Right.
Gandhi and I think it was Dallas, we
Lucky
got to do
guy.
OpTic Nation versus OpTic Gaming. I always get the crazy ones. We got a full crowd here. I see a lot of green out there.
I mean, on the plus side, they can't lose, right? So, I mean, they have that going for
Well,
them.
last time they
Green
was a
Nation win.
3-0 by Nation last time.
It was. But it's worth mentioning we have a giveaway for you in this game. For your chance to win a Turtle Beach Air Force Spectra headset, all you have to do is retweet using the winning team's hashtag and, of course, the hashtag MLGTVArena. And the hashtags will be hashtag OpTic and hashtag OpTic Nation. So, guys, get those tweets coming in and get those votes in. And remember to use hashtag MLGTVArena. Otherwise, your vote will not count.
All right, now I know goes without saying, you guys are probably familiar with both of these rosters. But, you know, for those at home that might not be, maybe you're having your mother watch it with you or your significant other of some sort. Let's take a look first at the OpTic Nation side, which they've been a little bit up and down here so far this weekend, coming off a rather disappointing result at Nashville. But for me, I mean, this is anyone's game to take. But here we go. We'll take a look. First off, we've got Ricky Remington here with that 1.03 KD. You look at him, he's a guy that's going to do the OBJ work for you. He's almost got 5 Dom caps, 3 Blitz caps, and decent Slayer numbers.
Yeah, I mean, averaging 22.75 kills per respawn. That's fantastic numbers to be putting up. And as well, that 22% first blood percentage, you know, he gets it done in such a destroy as well. That's definitely key to note. But miracles, this is the player I'm most excited about here at the Season 3 Finals. You know, his role is technically support, but this event, he has been an explosive player. He really has. He only has a 0.96 KD from the Season 3 statistics. But, as I said, at this event, Maeve, he's been my nation.
They don't beat FaZe unless he goes nuts and really clutches up in that game number 5. But yeah, he's been amazing this weekend. There's no way you can talk about him any other way. And Killa, such a personality this guy's got. Growing out that beard a little early. It's not November yet, but he's ready to go here in October. But 0.95 KD, close to that 1-to-1 ratio. Getting a bit done there. The Dom and Blitz as well. 26% with the first blood percentage. The big thing, the S&D, over 1.
Right.
And he is known, I mean, maybe not to put up the best numbers at times, but he brings those S&D strats. We know he plays online more than really anybody else.
And when you have the best S&D player in the game on your team, S&D is going to be a little bit easy. And of course, the last player on OpTic Nation, how could we forget? Money B. Ambo's first event was actually MLG Dallas 2013, but you know, ever since then he really has come onto the scene in leaps and bounds. He's a fantastic leader for this team, I feel. You know, statistically speaking, may not always put up the biggest numbers, but again, he's one of those players who can just turn it up. We go back to the first domination actually against FaZe earlier on in the tournament. And it was one where at the end of the first half, he had, I think it was 8 kills. And he finished with something ridiculous. I think it was like 27 kills. So
well, they need him.
He
didn't have the best national event. He was disappointed himself. He has got to step it up here for them to continue on in this one. But on the other side, OpTic Gaming, it's got a bit of a following. Let's take a look at this squad next. And as we go into it, first up is going to be Proofy. Young Usher here with the 1.05 KD, 2.8 Dom caps, 2.32 Blitz caps, a decent first blood percentage, and he can be the Slayer. He can do the OBJ work when he needs to. Very versatile player.
Honestly, he's having one of his best tournaments I've seen in a long time. For me, I'm saying...
Since X Games, really,
exactly.
To a degree.
He gets a lot of, you know... I don't want to say hate necessarily, but people always tend to point the finger at him because he does that fill-in role, but he does it so very well. Next up, of course, Clayster, the Slayer of the team. The big statistic I want you to note is that first blood percentage, 33%. He is a playmaker for this team in Search and Destroy. He opens up the map, and he allows players like, for example, Nature to go in and pick up those kills.
And he showed resilience last night. You know, he had that negative 21 game 1 last night. Bounced back with some huge games after that. Impressive stuff. And the King, Scumpy. What, the Slayer of Call of Duty, really just getting it done regardless of the game type, the astounding 1.16 KD. He is the one you put on the map to put up the kills. Anytime you're over a 25 Slayer number for respawn, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty high. There's a reason he's called the King. And of course, last but not least, Nade Shot for OpTic Gaming. He's been playing since 2009. And to be honest, again, a playmaker for this team. We talk about Clay with the first blood percentage, but he's the player which in Search and Destroy will really just make things happen. We saw yesterday some fantastic strategies. He calls the shots, and you know, all season long, you have to praise Nade Shot for his Search and Destroy. He's been phenomenal all throughout the year, in fact.
Could not agree with you more. Now, we've had a couple fantastic additions this week, and one, the new arena. so incredible.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yep, and then to help with the downtime, to give you guys more information, we brought out Krim and TP. We have the analysis desk. It's been amazing all weekend. Let's throw it over to those guys with Chris Puckett.
All right, thank you, Maven. Of course, we're here for the match selection process. And, guys, we know OpTic Gaming is on a little bit of a run today. They took out Rise. They're now matching up against Nation, who they felt an envy earlier in the day. So I think morale-wise, you got to favor Gaming here. But when it comes to the maps, what do you think about the vetoes so far? We see Gaming getting rid of Dom Octane and Nation immediately going after that S&D Sovereign.
Yeah, Gaming wants obviously nothing to do with anything Octane in this series, which I kind of agree with. I think Nation's pretty strong on Octane maps in general. They want to keep it close quarters. A map like Freight, I think OpTic Gaming is really going to look for on pretty much all game types, to be frank.
Krim, Nation up next. 2 Octanes eliminated already by Gaming and 2 Sovereigns.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I mean, I think that OpTic Gaming's pretty strong on that map. You know, we played them at COD Champs, and I believe they were up by like 20, 30 points on Dom Sov, and I don't know why, but I feel like OpTic Gaming's extremely good on Dom on Sov, and they also vetoed Blitz Warhawk. I agree with that. I think that OpTic Gaming's a bunch of a crew that sneaks a lot, and especially on a map like Warhawk, there's so many corners you can hide in.
Now, TP, we had our friends over at COD Esports TV send us some stats on the best and worst maps for this OpTic Gaming squad. Octane was all 3 for them in the regular season.
And sure enough, what do you think their vetoes are? Yep, you got to play what you're confident with. So I think both teams vetoing well here, picking things they feel like they have a very good chance at winning. Looks like Strike Zone is going to be the first map, with Freight Dom following up at 4th. I think this first Strike Zone is going to be very, very huge in this series. I'm going to give the advantage of Freight Dom to OpTic Gaming. I think they're a little bit stronger than Nation on it. So
is Strike Zone a coin toss for you?
It's going to be a close one. I think Gaming is the stronger team on it, but you never know.
Yeah, I think if Ricky shows up on Dom Strike Zone, I think OpTic Nation is going to end up taking
Completely
it.
agree. Ricky's like the player for Nation that needs to bring it.
I also think that OpTic Nation is going to end up going to be taking the S&D on Warhawk as well. I mean, you saw Denial basically take down OpTic Gaming on that map, and it was just it was like a clean sweep almost. So I think that OpTic Nation's going to win map 2. But other than that, I mean, the other 3 are basically toss-ups.
When it comes to that blitz, is either team favored here? You talked about Killer's smoke nades here.
Smoke mid-alley, man. He smokes that red crate every life.
Some weird strategies coming out of Nation.
Yeah, you will not see that crate unsmoked.
Yeah, pretty much it will be the whole game with Semtexes and stuns coming in from them. So I really think the Freight Blitz, I have to give it to Gaming's favor with the way they've been playing today. Yeah. They've been coming out with a lot of momentum, so I'm going to give it to them for sure. But it's going to be a hell of a series. I think Nation's going to be the stronger team on the S&Ds, though.
All right, well, I can't send it back up to the booth before I get your predictions. OpTic Krim 6, who takes this one?
You got to say Game 5. You got to say Game 5. I'm saying OpTic Nation 3-2.
Nation! All right.
3-2.
They've done it twice in a row. Does Gaming get the revenge here in Columbus, Ohio?
Gaming's convinced me at this tournament. If it was another one, I might say differently, but I'm going to go ahead and say a 3-1 for Gaming.
I'm going Gaming as well. They seem to have the momentum today. Any other day, it's a toss-up. Nation, though, holds the record over OpTic Gaming. We'll find out if they can do it again here. Guys, back up to you in the booth.
Puckett completely right there. You know, you look at the record in the COD League, OpTic Nation are up 3-1. And as well as that, the last time these two met on LAN, of course, OpTic Nation 3-0'd OpTic Gaming back at UMG Dallas. So interesting to see the differing opinions down on the analyst desk.
It's a day for revenge. You know, OpTic Gaming got revenge on Rise, gave us the first 3-0 of the weekend. True. They're getting revenge on Nation. That's really my feeling. And it comes down to, I just feel like Nation over the last 2 events has been pretty inconsistent. OpTic a little bit to the same degree, but they played really, really well today. And you know as well as I do, when it comes to tournaments, regardless of what game it is, you get hot on certain days. You may not play well Friday. Saturday you get hot. They were hot earlier today. I expect it to continue.
I mean, you know, we talk about those maps as well. Strike Zone to kick things off, followed by Warhawk, Freight, and Freight. So 3 Freights to ultimately end this series up if it goes all the way. And you know, you look at those maps and you have to ask, who does that really favor?
Well, I think Strike Zone for the first game type is one of OpTic's better game types. Like
Which one?
TP has mentioned.
Two.
Oh, OpTic Gaming. One of OpTic Gaming's better game types for sure. They lost it last night because, one, they played Denial, who arguably, I mean, statistically is one of the best domination teams. They are. And, you know, Clayster had that rough game one. I think I fully expect him to bounce back in this one, give a real strong performance in that first Strike Zone. What are your thoughts, though, going into Warhawk?
You know, Warhawk, it's hard to say. I honestly, any S&D, I have to favor Nation with. It's just they seem so comfortable with those S&Ds. Having said that, though, they haven't really been as consistent in winning them as I would personally have liked to have seen, especially with Killer coming out with the strategies.
I did the OpTic Nation versus Envy. They played Warhawk S&D, and
Right.
it was, the only word I could, is sloppy.
Really?
I mean, that's the offense-favored map. They had like 3 on B. They should have an easy plant. They don't cover their bomb carrier. Miracle starts out like 0-7 or 1-7, something like that, because he just could not get the bomb down. They couldn't cover him. I expect they've talked about it, and they're going to work on that stuff in this one.
Honestly, I'm really looking forward, though, to the Freight Blitz. That is going to be a sensational game because you kind of have that Embos sort of... I just love watching Embos play. I don't know what it is. He just seems so fun. But again, this guy on your screen right now, Proofy, a 1.05 KD from the season, averages 2.88 dom caps, 2.32 blitz caps as well, averages an impressive 23.3 kills per respawn. But as we said at the start, for me, this has been his best tournament since the X Games, and he deserves all the praise he can get because he's been making some exceptional plays. But this is when his team needs him the most. They need him and Scumpy firing on all cylinders at the same time, because that's something, having watched OpTic Gaming throughout this tournament, they haven't really had a consistent amount of games where both Scump and Proof have just been going off.
No, they haven't at all. And back to what you were saying about Proof, you know, when we think back to Nashville, when he was going off in respawns, when he was leading the way, they were winning.
Yeah.
Sunday, you know, he wasn't really getting it going in the respawns, and they struggled. They need him to slay. He's certainly the X factor. We'll go into this key player matchup. What are your thoughts?
Well, immediately you see Ricky versus Nadeshot. Overall KD, 1.05 for Ricky, a 0.92 for Nadeshot. The Dom KD as well, 0.85 for Nade, and a 1.11 for Ricky. So you see Ricky's actually going up, Nadeshot's going down. And Dom caps, a 6.17 for Ricky and a 5.0 for Nadeshot. So the Dom caps very, very high from both teams. And yeah, you have to say, you know, it looks a little bit better for Ricky there in the key player matchup. And obviously a massive, massive thank you to @COD_stats for all the statistics you provided throughout this weekend. It really helps us out as casters, and hopefully it helps out the viewers at home get a better understanding of exactly what is going to be happening. But this game, honestly, it's always great when you have a big rivalry, and it doesn't really get much bigger than OpTic versus
No,
OpTic.
this is fantastic. It's so fun to cast. Just, you know how the fans get into it. Twitter gets into it. Everything gets crazy when these
the internet
one
breaks,
of them's playing
essentially.
even more when both are playing against each other. But I think this is to a degree a favorable matchup despite history for OpTic Gaming, just because recently they've been struggling with the fast in-your-face teams.
Right.
OpTic Nation doesn't exactly play that way. I think the slower pace that OpTic Gaming likes to work out here. But look at this stat. OpTic Gaming is a 59% win rate. Like I said, this Strike Zone is one of their better DOMs, and I expect them to take this one.
Well, in my mind, I think they really do need to take it, because the way that Nation can play at times in Blitz and S&D is just scary. It really is. But as we've mentioned, for me, Scumpy and Proofy need to be firing on all cylinders at the same time for them to be able to take the Strike Zone somewhat comfortably. But I have to ask you, Maeve, who do you want to start on board with first?
Let's start. We were talking a lot about Proofy. Let's start off with Proof, just to see how they kick this off. And this should be a fun one. Crowd, let's get into it. We got OpTic versus OpTic.
Domination Strike Zone, first map. Let's get it underway. Proofy on your screens, and he's going to be making his way straight in towards that beat Domo area. He's going to have one person contesting. It is going to be Embos. Luckily, they're Proof with a teammate in support. Proofy should be able to win that gunfight, but no, Embos gets the first kill, and in fact, Killer using a shotgun.
Well, that's an interesting break there with the shotty.
It's Killer Cam right now.
They had 3 down for OpTic Gaming right off the break. And, you know, Benson, we talk about how the original break is so big on this map because it can just be rotation, 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 ring around the rosy, moving from spawn to spawn to spawn. And if you get that original win, you can really get an early lead.
I just want to see Killer use a shotgun right now. It's a interesting strategy. We've seen teams, adapt, use shotguns on Strike Zone, but Killer is known for some outside-of-the-box thinking, I think it's fair to say. He's going to get his second kill there. Can he find another player? Not going to get it. As Clayster shuts him down. That's going to leave Embos up by himself. He's trying to rotate over towards A. He's going to go down as well. Scump starting off quite nicely with a kill there. He was 0-3 up until that moment, so he did need to just get that monkey off.
Yeah, and Scump's had a couple slow starts this weekend, hasn't he? Which is unusual for him. But we are on with Proofy. He's at C. You see another player pushing from Pro Shop. He is going to drop. Miracle's going to be the only one alive. 4-0 in right now, though. Just a little over a minute in. Tie game right now. Clay's going to be moving in through Kitchen. You can see on the map, nobody there. Be rotated back in case he needs to give the teammates a spawn inside of B. Every one of OM pretty much outside, moving up the C steps. Going to be coming at Closet in Kitchen right now. Picks up one. Big kill. Another one outside C. He should be able to flank to the right here and pick up another kill. Great stuff out of Clay, and he's going to pressure C.
Yeah, immediately puts that pressure on C-Fug. Like you say, the trophy system goes down. He needs to be getting ready, though, because there is going to be a challenge. He's going to be able to kill as well. That was on Ricky, but there's going to be one more.
Oh, no!
Clayster going big on that C-Flag. That's 3 players down. Killer all by himself in no man's land. And OpTic Gaming get the trip cap and continues with Clayster.
What did I say to man of the match? Clay's going to bring it.
11 points free right now, and there's still more people in front of him. Finally goes down. It takes miracles to shut him down. But this is a huge start for OpTic Gaming in this big rival game.
You think Clay has that negative 21 in his head? You think he thought about it and was ready to get fired up for this one? He has come out hot. He's 9-3, leading the way. Miracles here, going to be able to take C. But as you can see, B is going to be falling to OpTic Gaming. They're starting to fall a bit behind. Already a 14-point advantage right now for Gaming. Let's stick on board. We got Nate shot here. He's got one shot, not able to pick up that player. He's trying to protect A. He's going to drop from behind from Killer.
Proofy immediately tries to break out. He has a teammate capping C. Needs to give him some form of support. Does so nicely with a kill. However, one player from OpTic Nation has snuck through enemy lines. That's actually going to be Embos. And he's going to give himself his second kill of the game. So not having the best of starts. And Proofy just jumps around the corner and does the business. Nicely played from him. Ricky, meanwhile, just trying to get some map control. But it's not going to work out in his favor just yet. Killer, 9-5, has put the shotty away. And you have to think that's a good idea. When your team aren't getting that many kills, you need to help them. But
absolutely,
10-5 from Killer. He's pumped up for this game right now.
Yeah, he really is. But look at this. They're already down 20 points. We talk on these small maps, a 20-point advantage is so huge compared to something like Octane. And we're not even to the 2-minute mark, and they've already got that advantage. Huge start. Great stuff from OpTic Gaming.
Oh, Killer going big with a kill on Proofy and also a kill on Scumpy there. Keeps the A-flag neutral. That's the third kill in quick succession. Dodges the nade, but couldn't dodge the second one. Finally goes down. Killer 13 kills with a minute 47 still to play. Having a sensational game as Ricky dives on that B-flag. He's going to have some shots, needs some help. The assist comes in, but Scump is there to clean it up. And Clayster still playing very well right now, maybe 13-4. He's putting up some big kills so far.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from him. And Killer, we talked about it at Nashville. All of a sudden, he brought this respawn slaying a couple weeks ago, which he's not really known for, but he's keeping it up here. 13-7 for him, 13-4 for Clay. The kills are coming in. 80 seconds left on the clock. Still approximately a 20-point advantage for OpTic Gaming. Clay not able to pick up that kill in Kitchen, but Nate shot here, top middle. He's going to have his work cut out for him. Nice shots there. Another one to his right. He is going to fall.
Yeah, have Embos now on that B flag. 3 kills, make that 4. Could potentially find himself a 2-piece if he pre-fires. He's going to get it as well. Nicely played from him, and that is going to be the B flag now for OpTic Nation. They're trying to reduce this deficit. OpTic Gaming with a 74-49-point lead with just under a minute to play as Embos playing it a little bit sneaky here. Should be able to pick up a couple of kills. There's one. There's going to be one more player pushing him. He's going to shut down Clayster, but no, he doesn't. Clayster, last man up for his squad, gets the kill on Embos and dives on that B flag.
Bose played it perfectly, but Clay just outshot him. Great stuff. I was going to say, Nation has to hold this 2-cap for the remainder. They got to climb back in it, but Clay wanted nothing to do with that. Back to Bose. We'll see if he can make some magic happen. He's going to try and hell trigger basically into this closet. He's got one right on the bomb site. We'll see if he can pick up his kill. He pulls out the trophy. Didn't expect Clay there. Clay is now 17-6. Are you kidding me?
This is basically Killer versus Clayster. 17-9 for Killer, 17-7 for Clayster. These two guys put up some big numbers as Killer finally goes down on that B flag. We switch over to Miracles. Haven't really seen much of him this game, but he's been very effective with 15 kills to his name as well. And you look at that slaying column, and to be honest, it's kind of in Gaming's favor there, which is what we expect. But Ricky, that's the big surprise for me. 6-14. We heard our analysts say, Nation need Ricky to go big on this map, and if he does, they could potentially come out with the win.
Clayster has more kills in the first half of this Strike Zone Dom than he did in 2 sides last night. Well, I think he's fired up. I think he's fired up and ready to get it. That's impressive stuff. Way to bounce back from him. But the lead is going to be 29 right now for OpTic Gaming. That is going to be a tough one to overcome. But there are veteran players on this Nation team. Let's see if Killer can lead the way back.
I was curious to see if Killer was going to pull out the shotgun at the break, but he decided not to. He's going to stick with the SMG. And he's just waiting to see if anyone is going to push that site. He's going to pick up 1 kill. Nicely played. That's actually 3 down, and Killer can put some pressure on A. There's going to be another player over there. Unfortunately, that was Clayster, and with Clayster's hot hand right now, you don't want to be going up against a gunfight, but that's actually both, the top fragging players on both teams going in a 1v1 right there.
Yeah, this is incredible stuff from both of them right now. Pruvi trying to win this gunfight up top. A little bit suspect there, but does end up pulling it out. He's going to have to reload. Let's see if he can get his health back. He's good to go. We'll see how he wants to play this one out. You see a couple players are going to be pushing out a bar from Nation. He's going to line one up. Second one's going to be there. Can he win this gunfight? That's here. Tries to pre-fire. If he would have got the headshot on that player, GG.
Yeah, that was a massive, massive two-piece. That just bought his team enough time to rotate around the outside, get on that C flag. However, OpTic Nation have now broken out of that B site since Proofy went down. Miracles should be able to keep that A flag. And you can see OpTic Gaming trying to flood in towards that B site. Proofy is going to win a big 1v1 there against Embos. Going to lie on that B flag. And there's the nade kill as well on Ricky, who was pushing front B. OpTic Gaming going to be back with a 2-1 flag advantage.
Bose did what he could. He killed two before he dropped there. Maven. Scump gets two, and that's going to be fun to deal with.
That's a god spawn right there. Ricky still on the C flag. Is he going to get it? No! Nade shot jumps down. Two-piece and keeps the flag neutral.
That's four down
now.
for Nation, too.
Strip cap for OpTic Gaming. Surely no, not happening. Miracles gets the kill on Clayster over at A. And that's going to be OpTic Nation's flag once again.
Yeah, we're getting up to the 40 points in the lead right now with 3.5 left to play. Kill is going to drop 3 down again for Nation. A delayed 4 there as Ricky falls. They are just starting to slay him off the map right now. Clay still heating up. Proofy at the 20 mark as well. Scump about to hit 20. Nate's shot has 3 caps at 15 and 15. The whole team has come to play. This is fantastic to watch. Proofy cleans up another 3. That's 3 down, I think, 4 times in a span of like the past minute and a half for Nation.
Proofy's playing with such confidence right now. You see him just get that 2-piece and immediately goes for the challenge. I mean, why not in that situation? Killer doing everything he possibly can to keep OpTic Nation alive, but Proofy with another big kill on Killer. He's cooking that grenade. He knows there's going to be another player over there. He's actually cooking towards the wrong staircase, but just jumps around the corner and shuts down Ricky on that A flag. And again, OpTic Gaming with this 2-flag control, they just need to hold this at this point now, Maeve.
They're playing aggressive. They're playing confident. I love it. They have 2 set up in B. We see a push on the map coming in from Closet. Bose and Ricky are able to pick up 2 there. They should be able to shut down to get the other kill, so that's 3 down. They're going to be able to take B. They will have C as well. If you see on the minimap, there's 1 player left at C for Nation as well. They're going to have to hold that. But looking at the deficit, it's what, approximately 40 points, 2.5 to play. If they need a 3 cap at some point as well,
or
they've got to get it going. They got to get it going now, Benson.
Yep, and unfortunately, OpTic Gaming not really allowing them to. Proofy just needs to defend this A flag. There's 1 player from OpTic Nation who Scump's actually going to clean up. That was Embos, and OpTic Gaming now starting to make their way towards that B flag. There's 1 player from Nation there. Ricky again cleaned up by Nade Shot, and now you expect to see Nation try and overextend towards that A flag. We'll get on board with Nation, see if they can try and change things around here as Killer and Ricky both pushing the A flag. They need a cap, and they need it now.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have time. They've got to get it going. Yep. Headshot there from Ricky. Great stuff. They've got to 2-hop this, get it as quickly as possible. They have C control as well, but I believe that's Nade Shot that's up on the catwalk. He cleaned up 1, being a thorn in the side right now of Nation. 90 seconds remaining. Nade Shot, let's see if he can get a neutral here. He's going to get pushed on the right. He does have another teammate there still. That's going to be Scump, who is going to be able to clean up Miracles. He wasn't able to clean up Bose, though, as well. But still, complete control from Gaming right now. Not a lot of time left on the clock.
And I love this play as well from Clay. Immediately pushes out to A as soon as he recognizes that the majority of Nation players are over at C. Nation with a good rotation immediately to B. That's going to be Miracles who jumps on that B flag. If they can actually kill Clayster quick enough, which unfortunately they can't, they would have maybe had a chance for a trip cap. But Maven, that is going to be game number 1 going over to OpTic Gaming. And to be honest, they just look so dominant. Look at that kill column, Maven. 26 kills for Clayster, 26 kills for Proofy, 28 for Scump. Scump just got fired up out of nowhere. That was majority of the game. It was Clayster with the top amount of kills on the team. But phenomenal stuff right there at the end.
Yeah, Clay slowed down a bit. I think he had, 19 on the first side, then he put 9 or so on this side, but the rest of his team came alive. Like you said, Scump, really quiet, what it seemed like 29. We were talking about how great Clay was playing. Right. But look at you have 3 players that potentially, right in that 30 ballpark. When you have that, it is really tough to hang. Look at the caps there for Clay and Proofy as well. 8 and 7, both of them. Fantastic, fantastic stuff. And, obviously this one, not mathematically possible for them to climb back in. This game 2 S&D, that favors Nation sort of on paper when we're talking about it, they have to take it. They have to. This is one we thought would go to Gaming. Game 2 has to go to Nation, in my opinion. Yeah, and again, some big kills going to back. What a Killer some serious props as well. 28 and 27. Now, you may think of that as not the biggest KD, but this is something I was speaking to TP about. Just add those 2 numbers together. Yeah. Think about the sheer amount of pressure Killer is putting on that map. Yeah, he died a lot, but that's a lot of pressure, a lot of engagements. And that's what you need on a map, especially like Strike Zone. Oh, absolutely.
Unfortunately, though, Nation not slaying enough to shut down OpTic Gaming. So OpTic Gaming take the first map of Domination Strike Zone. Warhawk S&D up next, though, Maven. Must-win time for OpTic Nation.
Yeah, and again, this is one where I would just say, not looking at anything, this is one they're going to win. But having casted it first Envy just earlier today, again, it was sloppy. They struggled. Right. They weren't communicating well. They weren't covering their bomb carrier. They have got to get that fixed. But don't go anywhere. Quick commercial break. Get pumped up. Tweet this stream. Don't go anywhere.